Think about the last game that you played that wasn't monetized. No paid DLC, add-ons, or anything else like that. Everything they did was for free. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't buy anything in their game. When I think back, I can't think of much. And for me, that is one of the greatest things about H3VR. There's no worries about things or items being hidden behind a paywall. Not being able to experience anything such as a map or mode just because you can't afford it or you don't want to buy it. And in my opinion, it's how games should be nowadays. The price you see on that game is the price you pay and you get everything. H3VR supports constant updates. Bi-weekly, if not weekly, constantly adding new items, fixing bugs, and other things. On my other video where I fully broke down H3VR, I had a couple of viewers reach out to me telling me that they haven't bought the game yet. They didn't get to see what Meat Fortress was like in my last video because I didn't have no gameplay of it. I spoke briefly about it, but I never was able to fully show them. I'm Jake the Snake, and this is an in-depth look at Meat Fortress for H3VR. When loading into H3VR, the main menu can be a little bit daunting. You'll look forward and see about 15 to 20 tiles in front of you, each having a different game mode or something else to do. Those vary from different gun ranges to different modes. One of the modes being Meat Fortress. You may say to yourself, Meat Fortress sounds kind of like I know it from somewhere. Well, they kind of use it as a play on words with Team Fortress. And it's identical to Team Fortress, but H3VR's little spin-off of it. Upon starting Meat Fortress, you spawn in two separate rooms that can join together. The first one that you spawn in has a couple of big bottles of relish and mustard, just to add to the humor the game has with the hot dogs and everything else. Some of the bottles have text sayings, such as what's new and what they're going to be adding and some other things, just to give you some information about what's upcoming. As you walk through that room to the next one, you'll see a bunch of weapons on the wall on your left. The weapons on the wall on your left are more Team Fortress style weapons. Now, I'm not no Team Fortress expert or anything. I haven't played it since I was a little kid. But the weapons on the wall look identical to the ones that were in the game, and if not, they did a really good job making them. Now you have the full option to go to any of these weapons, select them, and spawn them. They'll spawn with one magazine of their ammo, which then you can put in your inventory and spawn lock, so you have unlimited ammo for it. Now if that's not your style, there's always an item spawner in the back room, but I would recommend giving some of those Team Fortress weapons a chance because they are pretty funny. Once you're done picking out all your weapons, you'll be able to look to the other side of you and see a board cutout. Just like every other game mode, it'll have your other options, your health, enemies, and such other things. You can mess around with it all you want. I usually keep my health around 10,000, and I do about 10 to 16 players, depending on how bad I want the lag to be. Now I don't have the best performance PC out there. I can run 10 to 16 people depending on how many guns I use. Not too bad. So see what you like and go with it from there. Once you start the game, you're put immediately into it. There's no countdown timer or anything like that. Now as far as I know, there's no way to tell what team you are on. I can't figure out how to pull a scoreboard up. But I figured out that you are the red team. At least every time I've played, I've always been on the red team. Now there is constant music that plays. I think it's like a James Bond, I'm not exactly sure. But it is kind of funny at first. It gets old real quick. Especially if it just repeats constantly. You have the option of turning it off, but I always forget to. One of my favorite things in this game mode is to go up on a perch and just snipe. I found a funny trick where you can actually add a bunch of barrels to any gun you want, and I was testing it out. But apparently, the more barrels you add to your gun, at least for my case, the more it lags. And for sure, it was lagging. Everything was pretty much like slow-mo at times. Now the reason I love this game mode is because Take and Hold is a fun-ass game. It's a bit slow at times. And if you want to get in and have some fun real quick, this is the way to go. It gives you 16 AIs to go up against. And the Team Fortress style. So you got AIs that are using health, and all kinds of invisibility and stuff like that. And man, do they love to throw turrets down. You'll walk around a corner, see one, and it'll light you up. You won't know what to do. You'll have to learn to shoot it real quick before it messes you up. So you may be asking, what happens when you die? Well, when you die, you just spawn back in the room as the match continues. You'll be able to switch guns if you want, or keep the same ones and get back into the action. As far as I've seen, there's no kill counter or scoreboard, so the game really never ends. But thankfully, if you want the game to end, all you have to do is pull up the menu and push reload scene. It'll bring you back to where you pick your guns and your ammo. Now, as far as the strategy for this game goes, it just depends on what kind of player you are. Do you like to sit back and snipe? Grab a couple of sniper rifles, sit up on a perch, and pick away, man. Or are you more of a running gun? If you're a running gun, I'd recommend setting the map to small, so that way you can constantly get enemies. It'll be really hectic there. As per usual, the funniest thing about this game mode is the recordings. They got a lot of recordings on them acting like kids raging, and some other things. In the middle of this match, I had one of them going, "You mad, bro? 1v1 me." And that cracked me up. But they also had some guys with Australian accents talking about different Australian things. It's just a good time all around. Now, as far as the map goes, I'm not exactly sure where the map came from. I don't know if it's a Team Fortress map or something. If one of you guys know, let me know, please. But as per usual, the map is great. H3VR is great about making maps that are meant for this. You have a good variety of indoor and outdoor combat, so it's a little bit best for both worlds. Like always, the enemies and friendlies both spawn with their own weapons. From their medic guns, to miniguns, flamethrowers, grenade launchers, and pistols, they could spawn with anything. Once you kill them, you're able to pick up their guns if desired. The only time I find myself doing that is when I run out of ammo completely and I need something to get a kill quick. There are special enemies, such as the medic enemy, the invisible enemy, or the invincible enemy. The medics obviously heal anybody that's injured, the invisible people obviously are invisible, and the invincible people are obviously invincible. And the best way to combat that is just to wait till it's done. Find a place to hide out for a second and wait till it's over, because it doesn't last very long. The best way to find out which player is enemy or foe is by looking at the color of their suit, and if that doesn't help you, they'll have question marks, and whatever they are will either be red or blue. All in all, this is a must to play. If you haven't played it yet, I recommend it. It provides you with great excitement and a good way to practice for more harder game modes. It's a way to test some of the weapons that you've never used before, and just kill time, having fun while you're doing it. Like I said before, H3VR has a ton of game modes, and this is just one of them. At the low cost of free, you really can't go wrong. I hope this was helpful or informational for anybody that needed it. If you enjoyed this, shoot me a like, and if you didn't, give me a dislike. And as always, thank you.